DC and Marvel had a crossover. After 22 years. Now that I'm done freaking out over it, let's talk about it. Hi, I am the Wonder Man, and this is Panels and Rambles. Okay, so unfortunately I don't have any Deadpool shirts because my mom gave them all away, but I do have this The Batman jacket that, you know, it's Batman, Deadpool colors, it works. Okay, so first things first, there may be spoilers ahead. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. Also, I don't really read Marvel. I know. I'm so sorry. It's not that I don't like Marvel. I love the characters. I love the X-Men movies and all the animated shows and the MCU. So I'm not completely unaware of the lore and everything, okay? But it is good to know that I am not familiar with all of these writers and artists, so I won't be able to give you my full opinion. And it doesn't mean that I don't want to read Marvel, it just means that it's a little scary because I don't really know where to start. So, if you have recommendations, please leave it out in the comments. I will be sure to check them out. Okay, so when I found out that Marvel and DC were having a crossover, I honestly had no words. I was so excited. I mean, it's been literally 22 years since the last time there was a crossover, and apparently it was Dan something's fault. I don't know, but he basically said that if a company has to cross over with another company, it's basically a sign of weakness because their character has to rely on other popular characters. It was a whole thing. Either way, the last time that DC and Marvel had a crossover was in 2003 with JLA Avengers. So it's been a really long time. I usually read comics online, but after reading Batman Deadpool, Deadpool Batman, I just knew that I needed to have a physical copy of it, so I headed to the comic book store. Unfortunately, I was kind of stupid and didn't pre-order any of like the variants that I really wanted, but I got a couple other things. Okay, should I buy this? To be honest. That would look so cool in my room.
It would, yes. Oh, that would look. Oh, yeah. When you put it.
Look at this stack. This is everything she got. Damn, bro.
Don't do that to my big. Last time I was here, I really wanted to buy Zatanna number 2 from like 2010, but that comic is $20. And now I'm buying all of this, and I don't think
I think that's gonna be more than $20. Yeah.
Yeah, safe to say that I have a spending problem. So no more comics for me until November. Actually, that's next month. Until Batman Deadpool. Anyway, I got the main cover, which is super cool. Okay, so the crossover is happening in 2 parts. So the first part is being published by Marvel, which just came out, and then the second part will be published by DC in November. So be sure to pre-order your variant covers because those are gonna fly off the wall, especially Zatanna and Scarlet Witch, which I pre-ordered, so you probably should too. Deadpool Batman is half the story, where it's, you know, the crossover between Deadpool and Batman, and that's 30 pages long, half the story. The other half is an anthology, so little one-shots between many different characters interacting with each other. Amongst them, we have Wonder Woman and Captain America, Jeff the Land Shark and Crypto, super cute, Green Arrow and Daredevil, the Green Lantern Corps and the Guardians of the Galaxy, Batman and Wolverine, and the very last one is not so much an interaction between two characters, but the fusion of two characters. And that is where we meet Logo, the fusion between Wolverine and Lobo, or I guess Logan and Lobo, so Logo. Yeah. First things first, let's talk about Deadpool and Batman. It was written by Zeb Wells, penciler was Greg Capullo, Alex Sinclair was a colorist, and Tim Townsend was the inker. Oh, I forgot to mention that this story is called The Dead of Night. Okay, I really, really like this one. First, we kind of open with Batman being his little introspective self and his manner and his robe, and obviously Deadpool comes in and kind of makes fun of the fact that, you know, he's a billionaire and what, you're a good guy? Like, something that really stood out to me in this story is the art style. As a DC reader, I don't think I've ever really read a story with this kind of art style before. I've definitely never seen Bruce Wayne looking like that before. So it was really interesting. As someone that never really read Deadpool, I genuinely got really curious about his character. And I'm sure that was kind of the point, you know, getting DC readers interested in Marvel, and I think they succeeded, so. As we go on in the story, we see Deadpool interacting with Jim Gordon, and that was kind of interesting. I also really liked his first meeting with Batman. Earlier, he was kind of making fun of the concept of a Batman and how that doesn't really sound that scary, but as soon as he met him, obviously he was quite scared. In the story, we learn that the Joker has planted bombs somewhere in the town, and there are many possible places that he could have put it at. So, the Batman, to save time, kind of accepts the help of Deadpool as they are searching for the Joker. They later do find the Joker, and okay, I'm not gonna lie, I really didn't like the look for this Joker. I mean, look at his haircut. Oh, his haircut. What is that? But of course, Deadpool is kind of a killer for hire, and someone hired him. Yes, obviously the Joker. We learned that the Joker actually was the reason why Deadpool is in the DC universe. He got some help from Clarion and basically found someone who was just as crazy as him to, you know, defeat the Batman or whatever. Obviously, that ends up being the Joker's downfall, since what he hates even more than Batman is competition. So, Batman clearly sees that and uses that against him. And, well, long story short, Deadpool is very fond of Batman. They kind of befriend each other. Either way, they save the city, and that's how the story ends. Except Deadpool is still in Gotham. So, we don't really know what happens next because we have to wait till November. But I'm very excited. Overall thoughts, I really, really loved Deadpool. In this, I loved his interactions with Batman and how Batman saw right through him the entire time. I just loved their interactions, and I loved the color. The art style was really interesting since it's very new to me, and I could also tell that the dialogue was very different to what I'm used to reading DC. So I will definitely be looking into more of Deadpool. Like, she can't say it. Like, she's never heard the word before because it's banned.
The word what?
Amazon.
Well, she just said it.
Well, yeah, that's like the whole...
Oh.
Read the damn thing.
I'll read it when there's like enough issues for me to like...
There's 12 issues out.
or sorry, when there's enough volumes.
Okay, I changed into my little Wonder Woman shirt because now we're talking about Captain America and Wonder Woman. The issue is called The Gun and the Sword by Chip Zdarsky and Terry Dodson, with inks by Rachel Dodson and lettering by VC's Joe Caramagna. Okay, so if you are online, maybe you saw a lot of the opinions on this comic. Okay, before this came out, some pictures kind of got leaked online. So maybe you saw the discourse on whether or not Wonder Woman should be acting like that or not. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll explain. In this story, we encounter Wonder Woman and Captain America meeting for the first time during World War II, where we see Captain America holding the evil mustache man at gunpoint. Meanwhile, Wonder Woman shows up and she kind of talks him out of it. That's kind of just the generalization of it. But what really happens is she kind of reminds him that his blood would be on... Okay, the mustache man's blood would be on Captain America's hands. And she's basically trying to remind him, don't lose your humanity over someone that evil. Make sure that the people that suffered get to punish him, not you, kind of thing. Which I understand. Definitely understand where the writer was coming from. Except, I can also... Well... A part of me thinks that if Wonder Woman knew that an entire war and suffering and death could be over by the death of one man, I honestly think that she would him herself. So I really just don't... I don't know. After all of that happens, we kind of just see them growing old together, not together romantically, but as friends, because, well, neither of them really age, like, at all. Honestly, I really like this art style, and other than that whole thing with the evil mustache man, I found it really interesting how they kind of skipped through time and very significant events in both of Marvel's and DC's history and combined those two. So it was as if the Justice League and the Avengers didn't really exist. They were combined into one team and they would confront these threats together, which I thought that was really sweet. And it was an interesting take on a crossover between DC and Marvel. Something I really liked about this one-shot is how they focused a lot on the similarities between Wonder Woman and Captain America, in the sense that they are both very truthful. Wonder Woman stands for truth, Captain America stands for liberty. You get it. So it was very interesting to see how both of them really fought a lot for justice. That was kind of like the main point of the one shot. And we get to see their friendship, and it's really sweet. So, yeah. In fact, they really emphasize justice at the end. Next we have Jeff the Landshark and Crypto. I don't really have anything that I could wear for that, so I'm gonna keep my Wonder Woman shirt for now. This story is called Catch, with story and script by Kelly Thompson, art, colors, and SFX by Guri Hiru, and lettering by VC's Joe Caramagna. If you saw my last video, you know I love Kelly Thompson. I love her writing. Genuinely one of my favorite writers right now. And honestly, that woman does not miss, because this is the cutest thing I think I have seen in a really long time. In this one shot, Jeff and Crypto are just playing ball with each other, and it's the cutest thing ever. Also, there's no dialogue, so feel free to just enjoy the art and the very, very, very cute pets that are in it. Also, something that I really just like to think about is that they're friends. They're both just the cutest little things, and they're friends. So yeah, DC and Marvel, amazing, amazing choice. Okay, I just changed into my little green top because now we have Daredevil and Green Arrow. This story is called The Red and the Green, with writer being Kevin Smith, artist Adam Kubert, color artist Frank Martin, and letterer VC's Joe Caramagna. Guys, this story is so good. It's so good. I have a friend who's obsessed with Daredevil, and I see why now. Well, the dude is awesome. What the hell? The one shot is about Green Arrow and Daredevil just running into each other while they're fighting their respective enemies. Green Arrow being the League of Shadows, and I don't really actually know who Daredevil is fighting. They also run into Count Vertigo, and his powers are obviously not very good for Daredevil. Either way, they kind of just bond over the fact that they're both vigilantes and they seem to have the same type of humor. So it's a really nice story where the two of them just encounter, and I just really love the interaction between them. I love the dialogue. The art style is incredible. I especially really like this look for Oliver. Also, the callback from Boxing Glove Arrow, that was pretty good. Also, to connect it to Daredevil's father, that was, again, amazing. That was just a really good connection, amazing storytelling. I really liked that. Overall, I really like this story. Please read it again. I can't, put this into words enough. Go read this comic. It's so good. Next one, I didn't even have to change because now we have the Green Lanterns and the Guardians of the Galaxy. This one shot is called Rocket Has a Green Lantern Ring Now by Ewing Juan Dicino and VC's JC. This one shot is super quick. It's only 2 pages, but I'm not gonna lie, it was probably my favorite. It was so funny. Basically, the Green Lantern Corps and the Guardians of the Galaxy agreed to a cultural exchange. So Hal Jordan and Rocket the Raccoon switch for a couple of days. But turns out both of them end up making some not so good decisions, and they end up having to stop with the exchange a little earlier than expected. I thought it was really funny because at first I thought, oh, okay, yeah, obviously Rocket the Raccoon is doing some stuff, but turns out Hal was also not doing great. I love the callback to Parallax. That was so good. It made me genuinely cackle. I mean, I love the callback to just how being kind of like a magnet for jewelry, and what's the most powerful jewelry in the Marvel universe, the gauntlet. So that was really, really creative. I loved that little story. Honestly, it should have been longer. I would have loved if it was longer. Anyway, 10 out of 10. Okay, I have my little Batman jacket on again because now we have Batman again, except this is Batman from The Dark Knight Returns, which is pretty cool, and Old Man Logan. This one shot is called Showdown, with Frank Miller being the writer, penciler, and inkler, and Alex Sinclair doing colors with VC's JC doing lettering again. Okay, I feel like everyone has seen Frank Miller's art, or at least I hope you have. The art style is very unique. I genuinely don't really have an opinion on it. It just works, I guess. It's very fitting for Old Man Logan and The Dark Knight Returns. So I think perhaps I like it. This one shot is only 3 pages, so again, super quick. It's just an interaction between Logan and Batman where they just fight each other because they're both grumpy and have something to prove. Either way, I loved the colors. Loved the colors. Finally, for the last one shot, we have Logo. This one shot is called Enter Logo by Ryan North being the writer, Ryan Stagman being the artist, Frank Martin being the color artist, and VC's JC being the letterer. I don't really have anything to wear for Lobo or Logan, so I'm just gonna do this. Anyway, this is a fusion between Logan and Lobo. It is a 3-page one shot, so again, super quick story. It's really cool seeing like a version of Logan in space. It's very creative, although I'm not sure where they are going, what is happening. They mentioned super soldier. Overall, in this one shot, what really stood out to me was the character design. It's just honestly, it's really, really cool looking. You got Logan's hair and his facial hair as well. You got his claws, although they are retractable. Well, they're always retractable. I mean, they are throwable and then retractable because they are connected to chains. It's really interesting. And then you got the white skin and the red eyes that Lobo has with his super cool motorcycle that he rides in the middle of space. And you know, the dialogue was pretty interesting. It really did feel like a combination of both of the characters. So I really liked this one shot, and honestly, I wish it was longer. I really wish it was longer and that I knew where the character was going, what he was doing, because this is really cool. So yes, definitely go buy this comic. It's so cool. And again, this is a historical moment. Historical as in it has not happened in 22 years. I was not alive last time this happened, okay? I'm not a minor, I swear, I'm 20. Anyway, as a DC fan, it was really interesting reading a Marvel comic, especially with DC characters, because their takes are, yes, they are what they are, but they are not what I am used to. I can't really put my finger on it, but it's different. But again, that is not a bad thing by any means. In fact, I think it's very refreshing to have these takes on these characters, and it's just so fun getting to see how these characters would interact with each other. Now that I read Deadpool and Batman #1, I am so hyped. So incredibly hyped for Batman Deadpool that's coming out in November. There's gonna be a Doctor Strange and Constantine crossover. Oh my god. That's insane. I'm so excited for that. Also, my king, Dan Mora, is illustrating the next chapter of Batman and Deadpool's little adventure together, and I cannot wait for that because Dan Mora's art is, I mean, it's so good. Just look at it. Anyway, these were my thoughts on Deadpool and Batman by Marvel and DC. So amazing. I loved reading this so much. I was so hyped for it, and now I'm even more hyped for the one coming out in November. Please read it. Please read the one that's coming out in November. I need to talk to someone about this. If you already read this, please comment below what you thought. I would love to hear your thoughts. Also, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and whatever else there is to do. Either way, let me know what you thought, and bye.
We're only here for the video. We're making her return all of this after
we're
we
not.
stop filming. She's getting rid of all of it. She's grounded. I said so. Doctor Who comic.